Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for participants around the world to this very exciting EON-XR 9.0 launch. I'm very proud, happy, a bit tired, as all of us. Some of us have been up all night to launch this fantastic new release, perhaps the biggest one in our history. I have with me a lot of team members here that helped to bring this together, and we are so excited to share with you. But before we get started, let's see a snapshot of what this product can do in 120 seconds. Ready? Let's go. Yeah, I muted myself. So, wow, that was, I forgot to tell you, fasten your seatbelts. That went pretty fast. But, you know, I'm from Sweden, so I'm a bit skeptical. I always want to see what's under the hood. So today we're going to do just that. I know Elon Musk said once that CEOs and management spends too much time with PowerPoints and working with Excel sheets and not enough time with the product. Now, I can assure you at EON, and you'll see that today from management, we are really working with the product. And in fact, I've been playing with the product for the last 48 hours, and it's just amazing. So I would like to share my screen now for a second and explain a little bit what's happening under the hood. So you're going to see that little effect, and that shows that this is real. This is not recorded. And I will first talk a little bit about the process of creating what you just saw. So the ability to use this user interface in order to create lessons and be able to capture data from various sources. We have a library with 1.1 million assets. Or you can bring your own CAD data. Or why don't use your phone? You will see today, and I'll demonstrate it, how you create in minutes your digital twin from wherever corner of the world that you're present in. And once you've done that, you can then embed it. You can embed it in a 360 environment. You can then inject interactions in it. Text that we are collaborating now with Google Lens to extract that data based on images. And then you can use any language you have. We support today 32 languages, moving to 108 languages. You can have text to voice and text alone. You can then bind those pieces of information to annotations, whether it's text, images, videos, and it's as simple as a click a button. Once you've done that, you can explore. So you have a little neat text snap functionality. So you can use this phone to create a car in life size, like you see there. You can interact between the physical and the virtual world. You can then bring your avatar into this or scan your sculpture. You can place this anywhere, even at the beach, because you have your phone in your pocket. You can scale it. You are able to expand, explore, look inside, be able to slide this in a very exciting way, like you see with the dog anatomy there. And all this is done with very much ease and fantastic visual quality, as you can see there. And once you created your digital twin, you can also put it in a 360 environment, like you saw there, the visit of Hutch. And you can start creating things. For example, a 3D recording. You'll see that in different formats today. Be able to animate your objects that you bring in and bring them to the next level if you want. Challenges, quizzes. It's something you can do very easily. Collaborate with other people around the world or people inside the same room. It's quite easy to do that in different modalities. Then you can do assessment. So you can see how well the students do. You can have a coffee and the students are doing the work, and then you come back and see their final score. You can also bring an illuminator wall, bring data from the digital realm into the physical world to help your performance and guidance. Basically bring objects to life and encapsulate information with them. You can then also have an extensive admin. So if you're offline in the desert, you can have preloaded everything so you can enjoy without internet. It's also agnostic. It works on desktops, it works on phones, it works on tablets, it works, you can convert your phone to become a virtual reality device, but you can also use it with advanced features like Vuzix, for example, AR glasses, or HoloLens, or Magic Leap. You can then use it with Oculus, I forgot. Then you can also use it in social media. So what we've created here, it's actually the virtual campus, or the merged campus, if you want, you'll see the both, and the virtual classroom. And that's not science fiction. It's here now. Okay, so features to highlight today is 9 things. Version 9.0, so let's take 9 things. Import 3D assets dashboard, that's very much improved. And I play with that, and you'll see that I basically scanned a lot of objects around this room, and you'll see how well that functions. Smooth lesson interface, we completely changed the user interface. So it's very different from what you used to have in 8.4. Improve the lesson playlist. The visual quality speaks for itself. And also the ability to do things in different modalities. So you can see here that this thing here is the same as that thing there. It's just different modalities. One is XR, and the other one is virtual reality. The XR meetings, perhaps one of the most popular features, that you can experience this in different modalities, different locations. The marketplace, we have improved that, the dashboard. The whole admin section with analytics is totally brand new. And also now XR Desktop for Mac, both on creation side and experience. We have both working. And in fact, I'm on a Mac right now. And of course, Oculus, we love Oculus. So we are now in App Lab. You can start testing, and Jordan will share that in a second. Okay, so I said at the beginning that management is doing it yourself. So this is a video that I just received from Sweden a couple of minutes ago, and I couldn't resist to include it. This is done, he sent me a high res and a low res. I just have time to download the low res. But what you see is a model that we imported, and you can see that this is Leon's Cathedral Cloister in Madrid, I think, or in Spain for sure. But you can see that he's not there. He's actually in a place in Sweden. So this is how easy it is to import, bring them to life size. So he's physically walking around in this environment, experiencing all this. Now, to show that I'm also a little bit engaged, what you're seeing there is this veranda. So if you look at my camera and I wave and I pointed, that's actually a picture that I took just a couple of days ago. And what I did, I used EON-XR 9.0, and I downloaded a room, in this case, and then I start moving around the architecture and interacting with it. I choose something like that. I could have chosen a hospital. I could have selected a factory environment. And in literally seconds, I import it, I bring it in, and I start using all the features that I, for example, can scale it up. So you can see from small to big, put it transparent, add different elements that are not there. And what I love about the new version is the shadows now even go, by the way, you can see they're reflecting on the walls, not only just the floor. So it's becoming a bit scary to know what's real or not. I'll give you a tip. The painting is real. That's that painting over there. You can see it. While this camera that you see, I just planted there. It's not there for sure. Okay, now then let's move to Oculus. So now I'm in Oculus. I tried that myself. You can see on XR. What's amazing, I think, about this is to bring the wealth of application, because most applications that you've seen so far in Oculus are very gamey, and there are some other applications, but they're quite limited in scope with respect to content. With EON, literally you have thousands of applications, million, very fast. Okay, too excited here. I'm getting my voice. Okay, so now I come to the fun part. I just did yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to talk about something that you probably never have experienced before. So, and it's real. And to prove that it's real, I did it with just this room. So everything you're going to say in the next few minutes comes from this room. And just to prove it, I'm going to rotate the camera. So I'm in an atelier, a creative atelier. So you can see that this is the atelier. It's a very odd shaped room. And I work out from here. Sometimes I create together with my wife paintings. And the garage is over there. So you can see that, you can see where it is. So that's where I am. So what did I do with this? I did three things. I created first a digital twin. So I used just this camera here, and I created a digital twin of the room. Okay, that was the first step. Then I start, when I have it, to illuminate it. So I injected first a lot of knowledge to this room. So each object that is scanned, I've attached video information, I've attached different type of data. And once I've done that, I reversed it. So I took that knowledge from the virtual room into the physical room. So I start to annotate my real world. So that's pretty amazing. And I also had a 3D recording guiding me in the physical room, pointing to different things. So I was walking in the physical room while doing all that, okay? And finally, just to top it off, I invited my friends from Sweden, and one of them is here with me today. So Vincent, you're with me, correct?
Yes. Yes. Hello.
Okay, so where are you right now, Vincent?
I'm at home in Sweden.
Yes, if you could speak up a little bit, I can hear better.
Right.
When we get to that, which is the third video, I would like you to talk me through what's happened there after we see the videos, and then you and I can chat a little bit about how this is possible. But
Sure.
And we'll also show a little bit about the scanning. So, but let's not talk so much and show more. So let's go. It's got to go very fast, so you have to be observant.
Lacquered food container with handle, made of woven bamboo thread and coated with red, black, and green lacquer. 10世紀デザインのビルマ漆塗り食品容器、ハンドル付きのビルマ漆塗りの食品。
So what you see there is scanned objects that are encapsulated in a physical world. And I'm walking around, and there you have my boiler. I had a problem with that last week. So what I did, I just simply scanned it, and I created instruction. I received instruction from how to restart it. It's a gas one, so it's a bit dangerous. So you can see that that's real. And just to prove the evidence while I'm doing all this, I'll actually take you to the boiling room. Here's the boiling room. Okay, so that's the boiler. And then we'll see in a second that I did a scan also of this room.
Lacquered food container with handle, made
So,
of woven bamboo thread and coated
with that,
with
you
red,
can see
black,
that
and
this is
green
all
lacquer.
real. Okay, so that was the first step. Now I want to create an instruction in the physical world. So first I overlap my worlds. I take the virtual and the physical, and I put them together. Now, just to show you that this is real, I overlap them a little bit out of phase. So you can see that those two worlds coincide, so you can understand what's going on. You can see the things kind of fade out and in. That's the fact that there is actually a model overlaid. Now I made it smaller, and I continued to the right there. You'll see a scan. So this is a scan of this thing there, of the basket. And very soon I'll do the 3D instructions.
To the first stop.
So here I'm above. I have this God's eye view, and I have, this is a recording. This is not my real hand. It's a digital hand that I recorded. And then suddenly I take the real room, and you can see my instructions are now scaled up to the real size.
So I hope you're going to enjoy the tour.
Yes, I do hope I'm going to enjoy the tour. And now we go to the session with Vincent. So in the last video here, what we're going to see is that Vincent, Jan Kellström, both in Sweden, I called them up and said, I just scanned my room. Would you like to join me? And they said yes, and they joined me. And the first thing you're going to see, by the way, you're not going to hear any voices because we were recording. So the voice, we're actually talking with each other while we're exploring. And funny enough, Vincent went straight to the computer. Have a look. Sorry, that's the next video. And then we'll comment, you and I. So here we're starting the session design, correct?
Yes, that's right. So I was walking around in Dan's atelier, and then as you can see, this is kind of like what I was seeing using just my mobile phone, so I can be able to navigate in exactly the same way that he's doing. And as you can see, Dan can see my where I am at that moment. So it's capturing, yeah, me looking at the computer there.
So let me make sure that the audience understands. I'll spell it out because this is tough to wrap your head around. So you are in Sweden. Where were you physically? In your room or outdoors?
Yeah, in this room actually. So that you have here. So I just use this as my workplace.
Okay.
So you don't need a big place for this kind of technology. So you can just as long as you have a planner space where you can just put the AR model, and then you can just run this. And you can use your mobile phone, as I said before, and then you can just run it. So the key point, I guess, is that you need to scan this model. So which is what
let's
Dan has done.
Hold your horses for a second, because that's where I know, because I already done this a couple of times, and people say, yeah, but they are not showing reality. So for that purpose, let me just stop sharing the screen just for a second. And we will do it right now. Okay, so this is live. So because you see how confident we are about the solution. So now you should see me, right? Let me just go a little bit further away. So you see my phone here, right? And I will scan. I'll start scanning now that area. So I'll do just a 10-second scan. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Oops. Sorry. You still see me up. And then there is the scanning. It was a very fast scan. Obviously, what I have to do is to go under the table, etc. But in probably 2 minutes, you have this room completely scanned. So that was the first step, correct?
Yes, that's right.
What do we do afterwards? Walk us through the story now. What happened second?
Right. So after you have scanned the model, you just go to our portal, and then you just import that model. And in a few seconds, you will have that in your lesson, and then you can start to annotate and put other elements you want to have, like videos and so on, like Dan has done here.
But I got that when you were small, but how do you go from, because what I see here, just a second, so this is the model scanned, right? So I stopped the video. You can see there's the odd shape that we're looking at here. Here's the atelier. So the first thing I've done here is I put the annotations on the model, not the real thing. But how do we go from the model to the real thing? Explain that to us.
Yeah, so what we have is a feature called life size. So what we can do is that we can make the model match exactly the physical size of your room. So with that, you can overlay your model exactly on the physical world. So that's how you do it. Very easy.
And the annotation then appear glued to the physical wall.
Exactly, because you have the same location, right? So the model exactly matches that, and then the annotations will just overlay on top of your physical world there.
So in my example here, if I want, let's say I'm a technician and I want to get help from you to repair, let's say, how to restart my internet, I just take a scan of it, I put my annotation in, and I call you with the EON-XR meeting, and then you will actually guide me through what I need to do. And there will be an arrow in my physical world that pops up what to do. And that I can do in minutes. Yes, for me, this is mind-blowing because my background is rockets, and so I used to work with that for a while. And I know how complicated we had when we had a problem. Just to explain, you can think that you can use a video, but the video will not show me exactly what happens. With this one, I can. So, and And then how about this thing with the God's eye view when there was an arrow pointing like in Monty Python from the sky? What happened there? Can you explain that to us, please? So I'll try to go to that part of the video here. 1 second. Sorry, I'm on the wrong video. There you go. So there.
It's going to be.
So I'll stop there.
Another mechanical.
Yeah. So what's going on here?
Yeah. So what we see here is that Dan has recorded a so-called 3D recording of the model. So you can just basically pick up your device and then you just point to the model, and then at the same time you can record your voice. So then you can create a recording using that approach, and then you can just play it back, and it will sync up with the model. So the point that you're pointing to will exactly match the physical world.
Okay.
When you play it back.
Okay, I see the point on that here. So let's say this was a museum and I'm the guide. I can guide people to the museum. But then the next image, I actually see the real atelier. So you'll see there in a second. We're moving to the next level. There you go. Actually not there. So now you can actually see the real environment. So what happened there? We superimposed again, correct?
Yes, that's right.
So let me just see if I recap. I think everybody got it. Yeah, there you go. So now suddenly I can get this. So my mind is raising because I can see this, let's say hospitals, right? I don't know if you've been to a hospital, but just to find your way to different departments, you can just download the EON app and you'll have a guided tour through that. We can even have for kids, you can have a little avatar that guides you through this. Once you scan the rooms, you get guided. Or Stanford's chemistry lab, where they have to have students from various locations. Maybe they have this actually together with the XR meetings, which is the next video. So you have 30 students in the physical environment, but then you have 3,000 students or 30,000 students from Bangladesh joining in, and they can also interact and look under the tables and talk. And so this is really what I call the virtual classroom or the merged campus, because there's two worlds. I could talk about this. We could talk about this for hours, but I know we have a tight schedule, so let's move on. At this point, the next point we're going to discuss, and I'll hand it over to John, is the use cases. So John, I'll stop sharing my screen at the moment, and you can take it away. Thank you.
Great, Dan. Thank you. Just nice segue here into some actual use cases. So my name is John Green. I'm with the Customer Success Organization. And right now I'm pointing you to our use case page. So it's really good to know if you want some examples of how customers are using our platform, examples of our partners or users, how they're engaging with our platform. Come over to this page and we have an assortment of different use cases that you can click on, find more about the customer, and actually see some lessons that were put together by some of these institutions. One in particular that I do want to highlight here, I'm going over to Baker College, which is one of the largest non-for-profit university in the state of Michigan, several locations throughout Michigan. I was able to sit down with the Dr. Amanda Flack, Director of Science at Baker College. And what I want to do, I'll show you just to play a snippet of our conversation and just hear from her on her experience of designing lessons using the EON platform and what are some of its applications towards education. So let's listen in here.
When I first started out in this journey and my first training session, I was nervous. I felt a little intimidated. I have to design these from scratch. Well, first of all, I learned, no, I don't. There's a lot of pre-built things that instructors can alter and modify and make their own. So I felt a little reassured by that. And then once I got involved, I thought, you know what, I think I want to do this myself. It's not hard at all. It's actually a lot easier. And then my mind just kind of raced and I was like, no, yes, of course I'll design, but I can put this right in the hands of the students. And I have always found in my 11 years of teaching that students learn better from each other than they do from any instructor. Something that they can explain to each other, they can say it in ways that they get. And I can explain something 3 or 4 different ways, but if they could start building these themselves, that would be great. And you know what? It's simple enough. There's not an extra special course or degree or certificate you need. It's very user-friendly. And I think that's what impressed me the most, is I see huge applicability across all of our sciences.
Oh, I just want to play that short segment. I think it really captures the platform, what can be done, the potential of it. I do have my colleague here, my counterpart in Singapore, John Lee, here as well. So we're going to kind of have a little discussion here on these lesson tools. And right now I'm kind of continuing playing the lessons that was put together. So as you can see, the applicability here for students to create their lessons, put this in AR mode, and really have this experience with the content. So you can just imagine the engagement levels of your students and how you can bring them into this content. Right now we're looking at a quiz, so we can do these knowledge checks, making sure that the learners are in an active state, they're participating, engaging with their content.
Hey, John, I got a question for you. So in the example that you're showing us, is EON-XR only useful for science subjects?
Not only science, I would say anywhere where you can visually tell a story, visually show content. So a lot of different areas are applicable when using our EON platform. This is just one example in the sciences.
Yeah, I thought so too. You know, in my experience working with other educators around the world as well, they tell me the same thing. It's like the power of visualization is not only about just being able to see something, but to be fully immersed with it. Just like the example you're showing on the screen right now. I think, you know, learning about a cell. I mean, when I was a student, I was learning using paper, and they give us a 2D drawing and a cutaway, and then, you know, at the best case, right? In my secondary school days, they gave us a little model with movable parts. But this, I can imagine, you know, being able to scale this, distribute it, and again, any subject can tap on this on the platform to develop the kind of immersiveness, don't you think?
Absolutely. I think the power to visualize and see things and connect that to the material. I think there's so many applications. I do want to play a short segment. I was able to sit down with several educators from the University of the West Indies that has several locations throughout the Caribbean, several different territories and countries. And I sat down with Miss Antoinette Spencer, production assistant, and she designed a lesson using a 360 image. So imagine the applications here. Just take a photo, an image, put that into a lesson. Let's hear a little bit about that experience.
The creation process, it was very simple. Once you have your outline, your information, it was very easy, simple to put together, to create. You can create lessons within minutes once you have the information.
So just want to pause right there. I'm looking through a cell phone, uploaded in a 360 image. Now I'm able to explore. There's this explorative factor in this lesson experience where I can look around, I can look at videos, I can look at audio, and go to places where I've never been before and use this as an education tool for the classroom.
Sorry guys, something come to my mind is like all we're seeing here, and it's so fun to see the excitement from users. But keep in mind, this is 8.4 we're looking at, right? So I can't wait to see what they think when they see 9.0, which I played with for the last 3 weeks.
Exactly. Just the interaction, the user experience is going to be so exciting to engage with this content in the new 9.0 version. The ability to see videos within the lesson, make those connections, much more visual experience. I say it's exciting for learners, but also for educators who are designing these experiences and thinking about their learners in mind for teaching and learning. So lots of exciting applications here using the EON-XR platform.
Right.
And you know, just to add on to your point, John, earlier, it's not only about bringing people to new locales, but it's also about localizing your learning. I think one of the key things about many countries around the world and educators is all about not only about introducing new locales and new environments to students, but also reintroducing the locations that are near them, whether it's within their country, within their cultural context. I think Dan showed the ability to scan, environments or even objects and bring it into our platform. I think those are really important to not only localize but to make learning real for the students, because now they're not only learning about other things, but they're learning about things that are so close to home. And I mean, on top of, I think in version 9, I think one of the biggest changes is the support for more languages as well, native languages. And because we use audio and all that, it becomes multimodal, and people can choose the way they want to learn, right? And I think that's a great example. And like what Dan said, with version 9, I think there's going to be even more experiences that's going to blow up, and everybody will go crazy, and they're going to try new experiences and so forth.
Yeah. And John, you're totally right. One thing that struck me after playing for 3 weeks with this is I start to think different about experiential learning. I start to kind of expect spatial meetings, right? Today's meetings, we all have heads on a screen. Our brain, we're not really designed to see 16 faces or 6 faces at once. Normally, our brains are designed to see one at a time. And being this very flat environment, that's why you have the Zoom fatigue, versus being in a spatial environment where you move around as you do in reality and you experience. So I think once you open the eyes for this, you can't go back. I couldn't now. For me, it's such a knee-jerk reaction to set up an XR meeting if I need to do something with especially if it's involving any type of interaction with learning material. So excellent. I know that, John Lee, that you have had a lot of work with younger children, not only universities in Vietnam. I don't know if you're going to share a little bit probably in the testimonial session about that, because that I find that exciting. Can you talk us through that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, EON-XR, one thing that blows my mind is about how our users are really pushing how the platform actually works, right? So normally we think, hey, this is great for adult learners or mature learners like those in universities or colleges. But we also see it's so simple that even children can make use of this. And I think Dan referenced an example in with a project we are running. We are working with UNICEF in Vietnam, where we are bringing immersive learning to young children. And one of the examples that kind of jumped out at me, I think, is also available in our use cases site that John Green has just showed. Was when they were trying to teach children how to carry sharp objects, and they use an augmented model. They hold a knife. Which direction should they hold the knife? And they walk around the house, and they learn like, okay, this is where the knife should be. So they kind of virtually place it there. So it's quite a unique kind of experience, and that blew my mind, because I used to think that maybe it's just visualization showing how size an elephant could be or how tall a giraffe could be, but it can even come down to even soft skills and life skills, like how to hold sharp object. I think that's amazing examples.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And, I guess a lot of the audience is now interested. Let's say I'm going for this. I'm downloading this today, and Jordan will explain how you can actually start today. And then I'm an organization with several thousand students. How do I actually practically then implement this? And I would like to, perhaps our president, Mats Johansson, is with us too. I know that you're leading the team on the post, so to speak, implementations phase. So welcome, and please share with us your thoughts. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. As Dan mentioned, I'm the global head of customer success, but I've also been working with XR for 20 plus years, as have many of my colleagues. And, at EON, our purpose is really to democratize XR. And having worked now with this new release and start to see it, it's really going to be a giant leap for us. So we're super excited about that. At the Customer Success Department, we educate and support our users around the world. And I think, as my colleagues already mentioned, we can't wait to see what they will do with this new release starting today. As you become a partner customer to EON, there are a few things, if I highlight a couple of things that we work with you on, and of course one is delivery. We start with an implementation kickoff, and then we focus quite a bit on the pedagogical implementation. We certify our teachers, we help our students get going and be successful. And then in many cases, as you know, we also work with our customers to secure additional grants, for instance. So we have a team that supports that. We're also keen on together around promotion activities. And as it happens, we actually recorded last week about a 1 hour, or we did about a 1 hour webinar that's recorded that you can go check out. And in that, you will see much more detail around what we do. And we talked a little bit about the upcoming release. We talked quite a bit about use cases and testimonials. I know you got a little sample here, but there's a lot more to see. We talked about things like self-directed learning, which allows our users that embrace this truly allowed to scale. And as we heard from the Baker College, after working with the product for a little bit, it was clear that the students could actually do this. And we know that if we actually prepare a lesson or do a lab or a procedure physically, we tend to remember it much better than if we just watch some theoretical presentation. We also covered needs assessment, our 9-step implementation plan, and we went over some Q&A from the audience, and we talked a little bit about, if you're interested to learn more, one great way to do that is to join one of our deep dives, and sales and marketing team at EON can help set that up. We like to spend about an hour, and the majority is spent actually on the live demo. So it could be one of my colleagues who joined this session here, or someone else that does that. And then we try to go through really relevant use cases. So if you're a technical college or a K-12 or university, we adapt that. And then we also review implementation process and have a good kind of QA session. So that's something that I would recommend.
Thank you, Matt. So I bet that quite a few of people in the audience would like to know how to get access to that 1 hour video, just to also meet and see the people from various continents that actually will be involved in the implementation phase. So how can they get access to that?
Well, it's on YouTube, so it's very easy. We'll make sure we share this with all the participants, but it's up there live now. If you want to look it up yourself, it's called the EON-XR EdTech Experience Customer Success.
Exactly. So just to clarify that, so you go to EON, to YouTube, you search for EON Reality, and you'll find it, and there's a playlist there on the webinars, and there's a number of webinars, but one of them is customer success. We also did the previous week a webinar with the technical team that was led by Lin Sang Tri for 1 hour, and now you can see all the geeks what we really think. So if you're a geek like us, then just go there. You'll have Nirvana close to that in XR. Okay, so thank you for that, Matt. That was very good. So we talked about use cases, we talked about implementation, but John Lee, you also have a little bit to share with us about testimonials, because when we started this year, the map on the new products was empty globally, and now we have center locations in more than 72 places. Would you mind to share that with us, where those centers are, and a little bit about some testimonials? Thank you.
Oh, spot on then, spot on. So yeah, maybe let me just bring up my screen just to show you. So what you're seeing here right now is actually our EON Reality website, and if you're interested, you can take a look at the testimonials. And of course, like what John Green had shared a bit earlier, and what Matt had shared as well, it's part of our process, right? We not only enable and empower our clients and educators all around the world, we also make sure that we want to ensure their success. So we have that process. And through that process, we get all these kind of testimonials where you can hear feedback directly from our clients. So I think, to show you an example, here's a world map, very gorgeous, very simple to use. If you just put your mouse over, you can see the different locations. For example, the UNICEF project can be found here, for example, in Vietnam. So use the world map, take a look at it. Links you to videos or testimonials from our clients and partners all around the world. So as you can see here, this is talking about the project that is ongoing right now that we have partnered up.
Fantastic. And I would say what makes me very happy to see is that not only do you see the usual suspects that this is deployed in the United States, Europe, and the advanced parts of Asia, but we see countries coming up like Ethiopia, Rwanda, Ghana. We see places like Vietnam, for example, that are quite unique. So I think this expansion is very very fascinating. And
Exactly.
On that note, I actually see that in a second, Anna will start the car, so we'll hear some sound. So to do that, I'm going to mute myself. And why don't we talk a little bit more about testimonials for about 1 minute, and I'll join you back. Thank you.
Sure. So, just to highlight to you, it's not about just the clients who are happy or they're using the platform, but it's also understanding how it has transformed the way they are using the platform and how it has transformed education in their institutions. Now, for example, in many of our use cases or experiences that my colleague John Green has shown you, you can easily find them here on the map, and you can easily just roll over and take a look at who we have. For example, just to highlight this particular one, this is Dr. Daniel David, which is our partner who has signed from Babes Boyer. And I think if I remember correctly, during the weekly chat that we have with Dan, they were the first to be highlighted in Romania. And again, you can easily click and find out and hear more from them. So it's not only just a map to show you where we are, but it's also hearing directly from them, their experiences, their thoughts about immersive learning. And as much as we expand the idea about using immersive technologies in our day-to-day teaching and learning in everyday life and teaching about skills and so forth, it's also about thinking about what are the possibilities, what's around the corner. One of the key things our clients are often thinking is that if I were to use the EON-XR platform, what are the doors can it unlock for me to bring my university or my school or my institution to the next level? And I think that's where our customer success team wants to come in and support you. And again, with all these clients that we have here that you can see in all these places, we are dedicated to supporting them to help them grow and move on to the next stage of their development.
Thank you for that. And now I'm back. Thank you. It was great to hear the extended testimonial. Now, let me answer a question that I see we got from the audience, and that's around a practical thing. Like, the question is, do we have any concrete metrics on how this technology is helping people? In fact, we do from our use cases, but what I'm excited about that we also see now third parties such as PwC that has released reports and studies on how this really the big advantage with this technology. And four concrete metrics that they have identified that students learn 4 times faster than in the classroom. And I think this applies for workers too, that they are 275% more confident to apply their skills. And it's not strange because for me, when I think about it, I think about Confucius. I hear, I forget. I see, I understand. I do, and no, I see, I remember. I do, I understand. I butchered that one, but that's the conclusion. And you can see that part of this is the emotional engagement. They are 3.75 times more emotionally connected in the class than traditional classrooms. And they are 4 times more focused than their e-learning peers. And one thing that we learned during this pandemic is that this technology also helped a lot to create that experience-based, because we as humans want to experience this. We just don't want to be passive listener. There are also some other metrics that there's evidence that for every dollar spent in technical education using XR, institutions get 7 times back. And to be honest, I'm not surprised. An engine cost an aircraft engine $42 million. No academic institution can afford to buy the type of engines required. For example, the GE, the Pratt & Whitney, the Rolls-Royce. You can't do that. It's too expensive. Even if they get it, they can't open it up in seconds and see what's inside. You can do it with this technology. And the same applies for MRI devices, all the way to the particle accelerator in CERN, which we also have in XR. So I think return investment and the speed of learning and also the ability to register is interesting. So those are, if you translate this in usage, we saw last year's, due to the pandemic and the technology advancement, an 819% increase in users and 353% increase in XR assets created. And the reason for that is simply that the users, the students, are creating the assets, not only the teachers. So that's very exciting. And with the new platform now, we're just passing this month 1 million license holders. So we are growing very fast among the 42 million viewers. And that's, of course, quite exciting. Now, to help you participants to join this, EON offers a number of grants for academic institutions. So we can help you, as Matt said, with international grants. And we've seen a grant bonanza this year because of the post-pandemic resilient recovery. And so please contact us about that if your school may be disadvantaged or cannot afford, see what we can do. Okay, so with that, I think I bet a lot of you kind of trying or excited to try this software yourselves. So I will stop sharing my screen now and I'll hand it over to Jordan. And Jordan will walk us through how we can actually get our hand on EON-XR 9.0 today on whatever device you may have. Thank you. Jordan.
Thanks, Dan. Hi, everyone. My name's Jordan Richardson. I'm the creative director at EON Reality, and I'm going to quickly cover how you at home or at work, wherever you are, can get started with EON-XR. We have a freemium model, so that means that on whatever device you have, you're welcome to download the app and try it out for free. So we're going to cover these devices quickly, and then we'll go into each one of them to discuss how to get started. We'll start with Windows, PC, or Mac, and then we'll cover mobile, iOS or Android, and then we'll go to the XR headsets, starting with the Oculus Quest, and then finally the Magic Leap device. So if you are looking to get started on your desktop computer, be it a Windows PC or Mac, this is how you can go ahead and get started with the platform for free today. You start by going to eonxr.com in your web browser. From there, you'll be able to create a free account. Once you have your account set up, you're going to look in the upper right corner for the profile icon that we see here. Right there. And clicking that will get you to the downloads right here. Click on downloads, and you're going to choose either Windows if you're on Windows or Mac. Let's go to mobile. If you're on a mobile device, iOS or Android, you're going to start by going to your App Store, be it the iOS App Store or the Google Play Store, and you're going to search EON-XR. As of today, the 9.0 version is available, and it is called EON-XR. If you are a previous member and you already had the app installed, you will see it transition to a new name called EON-XR Classic, which is what we're calling the old version of the app as we make this transition. So if you already had the app, you'll need to go to the App Store again and search for EON-XR and download the new version, which is simply just called EON-XR. Let's talk about Oculus Quest. If you are into VR and you have an Oculus Quest device, you can now get it more easily than ever because we are available on the Oculus App Labs. So you can actually just put on the device and go to the Explore tab, which is the first tab in the main section. And you can search EON-XR. And then from the results, you'll see the main set of results, and then underneath you'll see App Lab results. So you'll see EON-XR come up under the App Lab results. Click View Details, and then you're going to select Download, and it'll look just like this. For the Magic Leap device, very similar process. You're going to put the Magic Leap device on, open it up, and you're going to go to the Magic Leap store, which is called Magic Leap World. From there, you're going to search EON-XR again, select it from the results, and click Download. From there, you'll be in the free application, no matter which of these devices you're on, and you can then advance to become a member by signing in and getting access to more of the advanced features. That's it for now. Back to you, Dan.
Thank you, Jordan. That was very clear and concise, and this session is recorded. So if you have missed it, just in a couple of hours, you'll have it on our YouTube's channel. So then you can fast forward to this. We'll mark it so you can see how you can download it. You know, part of the new launch here and what we've done for the last 2 years is truly gone global to all corners of the world. And I thought, what a better way than kicking off the new launch with a global competition. So what I done today or yesterday in my room here, we can do in Harare with our partner there. And we can do in Singapore, South America. So we are launching today this global competition. Now, if you are an existing customer, you can simply attend and participate. We'll give you instruction how to do that. We have very nice prices. Among other things, there's a 99 years licenses that you get awarded. So if you have life prolongation plans, 99 years about right, because with advancement in technology. And if you're not a user, what we've done is you can use the freemium, and there you can create up to 5 applications and submit those. I really believe that what we're seeing with EON and we're seeing the rest of the world is a truly movement to the spatial era. We move from capturing YouTube videos that are flat 24 seconds per 24 images per second to a new era where we'll capture spaces, environments, encapsulate knowledge, very much the same way I did myself. And would like to be part of that journey. EON, we are committed to this together with you, but we are depending on your inputs, your knowledge, and your wonderful locations, wherever you are. And now that the COVID lifts, we are also starting a world tour, a physical tour, believe it or not, that we are kicking off in Seoul. I'll be July 1st. I'm invited by the government there. There's a number of prime ministers that meet, and they gave me the honor to have a keynote about this technology and digitalization at large. And this will be followed by a 3-month tour. I will not be in all those tours, but our team will be in all corners of the world where we look forward to meet you physically wherever you are. You know, I've been in this technology now for 36 years. And for many years, I felt like this evangelist chasing a bleeding edge technology. At barbecue parties, you know, people talk about different things and they ask you, what do you do? And I was telling virtual reality, and you noticed that was kind of, you know, people didn't know what it was. And even when it became popular, it was many years ridiculed, very much the same way that you see today artificial intelligence. People that have spent 20 years artificial intelligence, when it wasn't popular during the winter, they were considered, that are wasting time. And I would say I never lost hope for this technology. If we met 3 years ago, I would say to you that your reaction, many of our users 5 years ago, they would say, I cannot afford this. And today I can look you in the eyes and say, you cannot afford not to use this. People that will continue the old ways and that don't take advantage. Now then the Pandora box is open. And 4 billion people can today do what I've done in my room. There's no turning back. There's as little turning back as there was in the beginning of the 19th century when a gentleman called Henry Ford developed an affordable vehicle. 90 million horses died in a couple of years. They went sent to the slaughterhouse. There were about 7-8 million left. So I'm not. Well, let's take a recent example. When the iPhone came and the technology where we actually pushed the button, it took just a few years, and the BlackBerry, Ericsson, Nokia were gone. And I would invite you to join on this trip. You don't have to be on the bleeding edge. You can be the vast majority. Whatever you do, you can run from XR, but you cannot hide. And please don't be one of the laggards. And on that high note, I want to thank, first of all our team members that have put their heart out there. I know that there were many sleepless nights. We pulled out myself 2 nights recently where we didn't sleep for. We worked throughout the night. I know how much sweat, blood, and tears behind this release and how much passion it is by that. And we want to share that with you. And we look forward to some of you meet you face to face. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. And on that high note, unless anyone has something else to say, we say goodbye for now, but au revoir. Let's see each other again, because every week on Wednesdays, we have a webinar where we invite famous people. Every Thursday, we have one of our users that we talk in a long format for 1 hour how they use this technology. And coming up middle of July, we actually give you a sneak preview, believe it or not, of what's coming up with 9.5 and 10.0 later this year. So stay tuned. Thank you so much. All the best, and bye.